Well, I got home with my little GameCube, not knowing yet what color or condition it was going to be, and I excitedly opened up the box and, well... Over the weekend, my wife and I took a trip over to a town called Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, because I was on the hunt for a Nintendo GameCube, and there's a store in Coeur d'Alene called EntertainMART, and what EntertainMART does is sell books, movies, video games, memorabilia, trading cards, and most importantly, retro stuff, including games and consoles. Now, their pre-used consoles come in nondescript boxes that just say pre-played console. There's no indicator of the color or the condition. There's just a guarantee that the thing will work. I had my hopes up for a Platinum GameCube because I bought myself one when I was a teenager. I also have a Platinum PS2, and I think that it would be really cool to have both consoles in Platinum with Platinum controllers. So, needless to say, my hopes were high. Well, I got home with my little GameCube, not knowing yet what color or condition it was going to be, and I excitedly opened up the box, and well, wouldn't you know it, I got myself a nice little Platinum GameCube, and I couldn't be happier about it. And naturally, they were kind enough to package it with a Platinum GameCube controller, which is the greatest controller of all time. Now, there's just one little thing. X button sticks a little bit sometimes, but I think that I can fix that pretty easily. Of course, to go with a GameCube, you need at least one memory card, which I was able to snatch up for $13 from some brand I've never heard of before, but it's 32 megabytes, so should do the trick. And of course, you're going to need at least one game to play. Now, anybody that knows anything about the GameCube market right now knows that GameCube games are costing more than the consoles these days. I paid $130 for this console. Some of the best GameCube games are upwards of $150. And there were a few games there that were good games, but they were in the glass. They were a bit above my weight class, so I went over to the shelf with the peons and the poppers, and I started browsing through those games, and there was a whopping 4 or 5 GameCube games there, and they were pitiful to say the least. But among the muck and the mire, I did find one game that I thought was pretty good after I moved some dance party horse crap out of the way and threw aside some crappy F1 game that definitely failed in the beginning of its career. I found in this nondescript pre-played box one copy of True Crime Streets of LA, which I think is a pretty good game that I never finished when I was a teenager, so I think it'll be fun to finish it now on my GameCube that I've been dying to get, and on my stream, which I think is incredibly fun to do. So, what I need to do is get this thing set up down here somewhere on my shelf. Probably gonna have to move this NES Classic Mini down here under the old RetroPie. Get the Mr. Potato Head bank out of there. Throw the GameCube into that shelf right there. While I get that set up, let me tell you about some of the other stuff I saw while I was at EntertainMART. If you're a fan of WWF Attitude, there was one copy of that there. There were multiple copies of WCW NWO Revenge that I was really tempted by because some crackhead named Stevie stole my copy, and I'm still pissed about it today. There were a few NES games that I didn't really know anything about, wasn't too interested in, but there was one copy of Tetris and one copy of the pack-in Duck Hunt Mario combo that I thought was pretty cool to see. And on top of that, there was one copy of Perfect Dark there, which was also really neat. And that was it. That was really interesting on the shelf where you could just go grab the games yourself. The rest of the good stuff was all behind glass cases and really expensive. So I did go over and check that stuff out. There were a few copies of Super Mario Bros. 3 in there, which I thought was pretty cool because I noticed that the top one was one of the copies where the word Bros is all the way on the left of the logo instead of next to the 3. And from what I understand, I don't know if there's a difference in the value, but there is a difference in the rarity. So I'd have to look into which one is more desirable, but it was still neat to see. There were a couple of GameCube games behind the glass that were pretty damn expensive. There was Shadow the Hedgehog game, which I'm not really sold on. I'm not a huge Sonic fan. There was Pikmin 2, which was very tempting because I love that game. And then there was a Metroid game. I assume Metroid Prime 2 or 3. I don't know, because I never had either of those ones. I only had the first Metroid Prime. And so from just seeing the top of the cover art, I couldn't tell. So if you can tell from the video, please feel free to go down to the comment section, make me look like an idiot, and tell me what it is. I'd be happy to know. Now that we've got that out of the way and I've got my GameCube set up down here, I'm going to go ahead and fire it up, throw in that memory card, throw in that copy of True Crime. I'm not going to play it though tonight. We're going to stream that eventually, but what I want to do to finish this video is just relish in that nostalgic, charming goodness of that GameCube startup sequence, that perfect little cube rolling around that G, making that awesome little jingle, which happens to be the ringtone on my phone, and just take a little bit of time to enjoy that. Just enjoy that with me, because it's one of the best things ever, and anybody who is particularly fond of an old console knows what I'm talking about. When you hear that startup sound, there's just something special, something so wonderful about that. And there's very few things that are going to bring back a flood of memories like that sound. Pure bliss. It's so perfect. It's beautiful. I love it so much. All this stuff, this menu, so much nostalgia in here. Oh, wait a minute. Do I still remember this trick? Let's see. Yes. Amazing. I love it. Speaking of being flooded with memories, if you would like to find yourself enjoying some nostalgia in old video games, please consider subscribing to my channel and checking that out, because that's all I do is play old video games and stream them and remember them and enjoy them. And if you are interested in jumping right into another one, feel free to click on this video here and we'll do exactly that.